Dramas, man.
Cool, we're on. Welcome back to the Crew of Lifting show. Second ever guest on the potty is Jamie Smith.
I'm here.
Welcome to St Kilda Road.
Thank you. Unbelievable apartment.
Thank you. Not mine, but I appreciate you.
Yeah, well, a great place to live.
It is a great place to live. Great view, as you've seen, of down High Street.
Unbelievable.
Nice greenery.
Inspirational, I might even pair it as.
Good.
Like you get out there and you feel inspired to do mad shit.
You do. You do.
Which way's the sun come in?
In the morning, out that way.
Yeah,
so
not too bad.
When I'm up, 5:36. You remember those days?
Yeah.
Sunrise. It's a little gratitude sunrise, I like to call them.
Yep. Have a coffee out there.
Look, usually I'm
You're at the door.
fanging off pretty quickly.
Yeah. Things to do.
But ideally,
people to see.
at some time,
Lives to change.
yeah. You know how it is. But no, welcome. Thank you for coming on. One thing I really wanted to do with guest episodes is, well, to be honest, like I don't know where the fuck I really want to take the podcast in the long term. Something I've said from the start is that I wanted to use the rest of this year as a big trial. Different types of episodes, some with guests, some not. I just want to see what happens. But one thing I wanted to make sure with my guests was that I could get on people that I already get on well with.
Make it easy.
Not even just that. I want it to be reflected through the way we chat. I want the people listening to feel as comfortable as you are in that seat there having a wine with me.
Yep. Absolutely.
What are we drinking today?
Canunga Hill, Penfolds. Your bottle.
It is my bottle. Got for my birthday. I've got no idea what's going on there.
Right, nice. The last two podcasts I've been on, they've requested that I drink wine with them. I'm just trying to... Do I need to go to therapy or something? What's going on? Why does everyone want to drink with me?
To be fair, I don't plan on asking anyone else if they want to drink on the potty. So I reckon that might be worth reflecting on at some point.
Yeah.
But no, I'm more than happy to
We just want to drop the inhibitions and really let the conversation flow.
That's right.
Yeah.
Which will only take half a glass.
Yeah,
really,
absolutely.
At this point.
Yeah. Done.
But no, you're someone I've been aware of for quite some time. I actually did some digging just before you came. I'm like, fuck, I wonder.
On what?
Yeah, good question. Like I sussed our DMs. I tried to get to the start of it.
Fuck. Yeah.
And it went back even further. Then I'm like, suss strength culture DMs. I think they're similar. And I've got a good side story. Don't let me forget this mental note here. Yep. Checkpoint 1. We'll call it that. But I think the first time was when I started powerlifting. The first ever comp I did was 2018 at old Gym 1.
Yep.
Strength Culture 1.
1.0.
1.0.
Pre-COVID.
Yep. And what I realized before that was that I sent the culture page a DM because I love the podcast.
Really? The OG quantum lifting.
Quantum lifting. That was that was the real deal.
That was in the peak of the evidence-based era.
Yeah, what a time.
Man, Charlie was doing research on how to best sleep, caffeine tolerance, adenosine receptors.
To be fair, I think he still implements a lot of those things.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but it's just general advice. You don't need fucking research. No, I'm not even going to get into this again. But every podcast I'm on, I just start bashing it. But yeah.
And I can't remember what I said something. Oh, that's when you were like all fucking everything about living in the Matrix and shit like that.
Big time.
We loved it.
It came true, didn't it?
100%.
Ahead of the times, they call us.
And then, we signed up to do that comp. Then it came with Kiz.
Kiz is a weapon. I did a potty with him yesterday, Thursday.
Hence why I brought it up.
Yeah. He's a champion.
He's killing it at the moment.
Man, I love it. He inspires me. Much like yourself. I like people doing different things. It's good.
Thank you.
And rolling the dice. Yeah, it's cool.
As I continued to look through these DMs, typical thing you say when you're 19, it was like, because at the time someone was just helping me prep for the comp. And I was like, I'd love to, suss coaching or something afterwards. That'd be great.
Yeah.
But my fate led me elsewhere.
Yeah.
Because at the time, someone else was coaching there and took me under their wing.
Yeah, that's
and
fair.
that all unfolded. But
Yeah.
how destinies could have been different.
Man, they could have been different.
But
2018.
what was happening then? What do you remember from that? Well, not from me, but like where were you? Where was culture at 2018?
Well, 2 years in, I was still powerlifting.
I was actually.
Yeah, I was, I think, then.
Jesus.
And I was young. I don't know. Not much. That was I would put that in my grind phase of my career.
When did you open, for reference?
2016. I was
Okay.
23.
Yeah.
And I just worked my ass off for like 3 or 4 years in that period.
Yeah.
Flying. I felt like we were flying or just like starting it, and then COVID came.
Yep.
And just started
Yeah.
shutting us down, baby, holding us back. And then I literally view my career as pre-COVID and post-COVID.
Okay.
And now there's a third chapter, which is post-COVID, post wanting to leave the industry. And now we're in chapter 3. Yeah. Third Phoenix Rising, I call it.
Third Phoenix.
The third Phoenix. Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. The third Phoenix. Yeah. So 2018 was the grind set. Yeah.
Grind set.
Yeah. Real like punching 14, 15 hour days.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big coaching load.
Yeah. Sleep wasn't important.
Nah, that's why Charlie was trying to help me with the, with the caffeine curfew at 2 p.m.
Yeah.
Because the adenosine receptors, they become saturated. And then at the end of the day, the caffeine half-life is like 8 hours, and you increase the caffeine tolerance over time because the adenosine receptors get, evidence, man.
I believe it, given there was evidence.
Yeah, evidence, man.
Which is funny because one thing I want to talk to you about, because I think it's funny to like literally tell you directly from my perspective, but during obviously like if people listening who weren't coaches during that period or just weren't around like the industry at that time.
The 2 years before COVID.
2 years before COVID, I was explaining this to fucking Beck the other day. Like, I can't explain it more clearly than this. Me, at that point of time, if someone said something, if someone made information online and there was no like back into it, I'd think you're the dumbest cunt. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Like, what? You can't just say something.
Oh, you can't.
That was absurd.
Yeah. You can't just recommend you can't have caffeine after 2 p.m.
Idiots.
Nah, fucking hell. Yeah, it's wild. I hated that. I got sucked into it.
Yeah.
I
Do you
think everyone
remember,
did.
like, so where this is all sort of going is, you guys had this like big, I've called it like your content era where you started pushing the potty, all these clips started
That's
coming
phase
out.
2.
Phase 2. So when you started phase 2, the one thing that will always stick out to me, because I remember how disruptive it was to the homeostasis of the industry, was the fuck science stuff.
science.
Like, I'll never forget that. And so, like, obviously, you must have come out of this bubble, this echo chamber beforehand. Like, do you remember there being a shift in your thing? You said, like, you were, like, amongst it as well at some point, this evidence-based route. Like, do you remember becoming, I guess, more aware that, like, no, that's not really the answer to everything? Or, like, do you remember a shift in
Yeah,
your
absolutely.
thinking?
It was my second intake of my initial CDP. So at the start of COVID, the gyms shut on March. I know these dates because it was like pivotal in just a few of my career points.
Yep.
March 23rd, 2020, I think it was when the Sunday was fucking Danny Boy getting on the TV. He was like, these are the industries that are closing doors immediately. And it was just like, bam. I was at my partner's house and it was just like, bam, bam, bam. Then gyms. And I was just like, fuck, what are we going to do? Monday was the first intake of my ever first online education thing.
Yep.
So I had run internships prior to that. I had run, I think, 7 internships. I'd run seminars. I'd been to Sydney. I'd been to Queensland. Went back to Sydney. Charlie and I were planning on doing Perth and Adelaide in 2020. And I was like, well, if these people in other states are interested in our ideas, our processes, I'll do an online mentorship, an online coach development. I called it coach development program, CDP. And And it just so happened the first call was the Monday of the first lockdown. So I had 30, I think it was like 37, 38 coaches. Day one of lockdowns. Or what are we doing? And I'm sitting there telling them, yeah, the shoulder does this and the hip. And then at the end of the call, we'd just stop and be like, what are we doing? And I kind of became, I don't know if it was like a greed thing, but it became like a community around like, how are we navigating this? What are we doing? Pivoting online? How are we going to do it? Like there was all of that sort of stuff. There was a couple of business modules at the end, or it might have even been at the start. I don't know. There was business in there at some point. So it kind of like pivoted some of the support that I had. There was one-on-one calls with certain coaches that bought like the premium package or whatever the fuck. And a lot of those people, I think Beck came at the end of COVID, but, it became like this little network of coaches, and just so happened that it was. And then the first one was a huge success. Lockdowns were still running, so I was like, "Oh, I'll do the second one." And that was like 6 months later or whatever it was. That one was even bigger because no one was working; everyone was just spending money on online stuff. And I think that's what really pushed the whole thing along. Not my thing, but that whole part of the industry of people running online mentorships, online fucking all of that online stuff came because of COVID. And in the second intake, I distinctly remember that I was like sending pre-reading, like weekly pre-reading of like articles and journals and stuff and all of that. And then we'd chat about some of the stuff. And in my head, I'm like, what am I doing? Like it was literally like a back dialogue of like, what the fuck am I doing? I've just like, and I look back at that now and I ended up making like what I would call like a definitely not at the standard of university, but like a mini university chapter. Like what are they called? Fucking subject. Yeah. Get pre-learning stuff. You come back, you look at it. Where's this research and how's this applying over here and all of this sort of stuff. And I got to the end of the second one and I was like, what the fuck have I done? I've created like a subject of uni and everyone's reading all this shit. And in my head, I'm like, none of this stuff actually matters because the process doesn't change. And that's the whole crux of like one of my takes now. But it doesn't actually change the process. And that was kind of and then I did the third one and I hated it because my brain, as soon as I realized I'm not doing something I want to do anymore, I hated it. And I remember there was like 11 people in the third one. Lockdowns were still rolling. And then I was like, I need to stop. And I took my CDP, I scrunched it into a proverbial ball, and I threw it in the fucking bin. And then we came out of lockdown. And then that started the...
Phase two.
Phase two.
So...
Post-lockdown, post me saying the evidence... In my head, the evidence-based era is not a waste of time, but it's a waste of a lot of people's energy. Yeah. And most coaches don't need to fucking worry about it, which I still agree on. And then the podcast kicks off and we just started having hot takes. And that was probably when the fuck science came out.
Probably.
And there's the...
what was your goal? Phase two was phase two as like well planned out as it seemed it was? Like, was that something really intentional?
Yep.
Do you remember like what roughly the goals were coming into it?
Yeah, we came out of COVID. We moved the gym. So I had a big falling out with the first landlord at the first gym. And we were meant to have 6 months left of the, and I was trying to actually buy that building. Yeah. And in that process, the owner was quite old. The owner's son thought we were like being like, not manipulative, but like very pressuring the elderly woman. I never ended up speaking to her. The real estate agent was dealing with it all. Yeah. And he was like, no, you guys are being dirty, whatever, and we got to get out. So we had to get out, and it all happened really quick. And I was like, fuck, what am I going to do? I need to find something. I had the money to buy something, so I ended up buying the place we're at now. And then in that process, you've obviously seen the gym if people haven't been there. It's like half gym space. Downstairs is a couple offices, but the upstairs space is massive. There's a classroom that can hold 40 people. Luke Tulloch and David Gray had over 40 in there. So like it can pump. It's a proper classroom, huge office. And then we had this secondary room. And we were just building, we were starting longer format content through YouTube. The Itch Pig thing started happening because we were like just putting our personalities out there a little bit. And because we had moved the gym, and I think because of just some of the momentum that I had around me navigating COVID, I think pretty well, like maintaining the staff, pivoting online, doing really well with the online education. There was just like a bit of oh, they're going to do really cool things. They've just moved gyms. The gym's mad. It was sick and all of that sort of stuff. Or at least I think it's sick. But we got a lot of feedback. It was like, oh, this is really cool. I love what's going on. And we just started doing more and more of the long format content. The idea was to center it around our personality.
Yep.
That was the whole idea, because fuck science. It doesn't matter the actual processes and all that. It was all going to be our personalities. And that is what made us different to everyone else. And that's a key thing, I think, with social media in general. You've got to differentiate yourself in some capacity. Yep. You need to create an enemy, run clubs, and attack it, and your tribe will come. And we just did that by being ourselves. And it was a proper process that we undertook, to do that, to grow it, to grow the brand online, which I now reflect back at. And I'm glad we did it, but also my personal life is shrouded with a bunch of very, tough couple of years that kind of lent my decision-making in one way that I think I lent too much in that direction.
Okay.
And I've had to clean a lot of that up this year.
I guess specific to phase 2, this whole...
Yeah. It was very calculated though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of it sounded like it went well. I'm not sure if...
It definitely did. Yeah.
Did.
Absolutely.
Anything you learned from that period of time that I guess you still lean into these days, or themes that are consistent from then that you think are important to you, culture, etc.?
Differentiated qualities are really important.
Yeah.
If you want to play in an oversaturated market, which anyone online is, you have to draw the line in the sand somewhere of what you're not. You don't have to vocalize what you're against, but you have to draw the line somewhere in saying that this is what we hold to be true and what we hold as value and what I believe in and all of that. You have to have an opinion that stops somewhere. You have to, because it's oversaturated. Someone else will, and they'll just gain the attention. It doesn't have to be the negative side of it, which we did for a few months there. We made like very hooky, clickbaity things. Yeah. And then Didier started getting bullied and he was getting called like pencil neck. And there was these two juiced guys from out west that would like literally just nonstop. When he got a haircut, they'd message him like, nice haircut. Like literally like online bullying of Didier. And then one of the meetings, I was like, boys, we can't keep going this aggressive route. Andrew Locke was fucking slamming us in the DMs at one, just sending us slabs of shit, just trash. And I was like, what is going on? And it was cool because we got the attention. The business grew. The boys were at capacity. I was no longer coaching. I could pull back a little bit and do other things and start to like plan what was going on. But then again, that personal cloud, that's when I got consumed and I didn't have much going on in the business, and then the personal stuff just ripped me out of it, and then I was like avoidant for ages, and that was kind of like the end of phase 2, because I almost didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do it anymore. Didn't want to do the whole business anymore, and it wasn't anything to do with what we had just done. It was a combination of so many different factors, but that would be the biggest thing. Differentiated qualities, identify them. If you're a young coach, there's a fantastic corporate-based thing you can do. It's called a SWOT analysis. SWOT, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Put it on a board, write your things down, analyze it, lean into your strengths, see if you can strengthen your weaknesses. Look for your opportunities. Can you combine a strength and an opportunity and lean in that direction? For us, that was our team and our environment as just the 4 of us, and Donnie behind the scenes, but as the 5 of us. There was no one like that. So that was our strength. Lean into it. Personality. What can we do for personality? Talk. Podcast. Podcast blows up. It all makes sense. Yeah.
One thing you sort of touched on there, which I definitely respect about you, is you openly do admit, like, over the years, personal struggles have really affected
everything. Yeah. The subjective experience.
Along those lines, and I'm not here to dig real deep into that or anything, but I just want to know, I guess, are there any, with everything you've been through and everything you've learned along the way, are there things you're telling a younger Jamie, looking back retrospectively, to help him navigate certain periods of time, or again, any themes you think may have been more helpful at different periods of your life?
Yeah.
No, that's a tough one.
I think the biggest growing up, I was always not, and I struggled with mental health things for probably 2 years there, and I still ebb and flow with it. But I've done a lot of internal work with professionals to not just meditating and stuff, like literally speaking to people to try to better understand I just call it my brain. That's how I view it. It's like my brain. Better understand my brain and my tendencies because of my brain. And that's not a negative connotation. It's just like better understanding yourself. I just view it as a separate entity, if that makes sense. Growing up, I would have always thought like the typical just you're a male, harden up, don't worry about it. Like fucking, you'll sort it out. Work harder. It's a work problem. What's all the shit, fucking Goggins and stuff? What do they all say? Like it's all discipline and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. And I would never have thought that I would be somebody that ultimately like almost got rid of my career because of how I was feeling at that time. And I look back at that period and it was a cloudy mess of a lot of stuff. I think it does stem from COVID personally, but then there was a lot of personal stuff, pregnancy and a lot of the troubles that we had there, which was ultimately like the volcanic peak of the whole thing. But becoming a father pressure, career-based pressure, not enjoying it anymore, and all of those sort of things. Like the whole thing just stewed together in like a 2-year period. And I never would have thought that I would be somebody when I was younger, like that would grow up and struggle with it at all. To the point where like I was having breakdowns and like full crying in front of people and like I didn't want to go to the gym. I was at the gym and I look back on it and I'm like, coming out of COVID, the gym's flying, everything's going hard. And I hated being there. I was there 8 hours a week for probably 12 months, literally. I pulled all my shifts. I got rid of all my clients. I pulled back. I used to do the podcast. I used to have like a couple of meetings. And then if I was running an online thing, I'd run that at work. And then other than that, I'd not be at work because I was like anxious. And so I never thought I would have had those struggles. And I think looking back at it, it kind of just like crept up. I don't think there was ever it just like built and I don't know if it would be something that you could tell someone to do, but like just listen to yourself. I think like just something like that, like just check in on yourself, like especially if you're burning the candle at both ends, if you're stressed and like your hobbies all of a sudden get consumed by you don't want to do them anymore, and like all the joy of everything that you've always loved has just been zapped out of you. Like I think there were definitely alarm bells of things weren't moving in the right direction. And I think I was just like, nah, I'll be fine. I'm fine. Like, it's fine. Even like going to see a psychologist was a big step for me until I had a full-blown breakdown at work. And one of the staff members was like, you need help, man. Like, go. And that started that. So I don't know. Like, I don't know what advice it would be, but hopefully someone resonates with some of that stuff and reaches out. Every time I talk about it, I'll probably get like 10 people reach out. So, if you want to chat about it, door's always open. Everyone struggles. Everyone does. They just don't admit it.
True.
Yeah.
This is all mainly within phase 2, everything you're sort of describing here.
Yep. This is the back end of phase 2.
Back end of phase 2. Chapter 3.
Chapter 3.
When is chapter 3?
Chapter 3 is the days Peter is born. It's probably not. Chapter 3 is, I would say, April this year.
Yep.
No, Feb. End of Feb.
What's happening end of Feb?
End of Feb. I've just become a dad.
Yep.
I didn't think that I would be as into it as I am.
Being a dad?
Oh, man. The best.
Seems pretty good.
It's unreal. I tell people, I'm like, I'm that guy. I'm that fucking young man that just had a kid and he's just like, it's changed my life. It's changed my life for the better. But it does. It just like align, and especially like a very supportive partner with Laura, and we work very well together and we communicate very openly about all sorts of stuff. But just like getting the tour, like we're both like on the same page with like our futures, and like it was never the intention that I was going to step as aggressively back into work. Laura's got her own career and all of that sort of stuff, but she struggled incredibly over the last 2 years as well. And because of especially the pregnancy year, she basically had to step back from work completely. And it's been very difficult for her to like step back into it knowing that potentially we're going to have a second, well, we want a second kid, but the changes with all that. And the idea was always that I'd probably do 4 days a week, full days a week of work, and Laura would do a couple, 2, 3, and we'd just work around that. And it didn't work out in that way because of all the stuff that we went through, and we had a good chat, and I was like, all right, well, pressure's on. I've got to start fixing some of these things that I sort of let go. So that was in Feb. I started having very formal conversations with a lot of people related to the business and restructuring sort of responsibilities and expectations of work, open chats with what's expected of me I know I hadn't been there for basically 2 years. There's just a whole bunch of different things that were changing, and I just view it as a clean slate. The process started in Feb. I had the plans to set training model up. 12 months before that, I had a meeting with David Gray online about my plans and what I wanted to do, and just some advice from him and all of that. I had meetings with Angus Bradley as well, because the online space is basically where that's just going to run. That was all happening from 12 months ago. So I had the process from 12 months ago. I trickled it in until June 1st was when I pulled the trigger, and I just went, now's the time. If I need to work more, I need to earn more, I need to get back. I don't feel like I've moved backwards in terms of my career, but I definitely feel like I was on a huge momentum train before all of that stuff, and I'm just trying to get back on that track, which I feel like I'm starting to now. So that's phase 3. Phase 3, I would say, is like Feb. The other thing in there is I got formally diagnosed with ADHD, which was eye-opening. Yeah, and medicated.
Has that
came off the back end of the mental health struggles.
Okay. Has that changed anything for
Huge.
you?
Massive. Changed
the way you go about things?
I'd say it has almost changed every single process that I have around work.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and that's like learning my brain. That's where that stuff comes in. My tendencies, the dopamine response that I get from work and my attitude to work, I know it wanes. And especially if I haven't built structures around what I've built, CDP, scrunch it up, throw it in the bin. Even though it did really well and there was like 80 coaches in 3 intakes or whatever it ended up to be across 18 months. If at the end of the process I get to the end of it and I don't like it anymore, I don't care about scrunching something up and throwing it in the bin. Phase 2, that stuff doesn't align with it. I don't really, it just doesn't, like there's a whole bunch of things around me now that I'm just like, well, and I look back at my whole life and that's been my whole tendency in life. So now with training model, I'm setting up structures from the development of it to, if at any point there is a process in which I want to change course, there's a structure that's within it that doesn't just get thrown out completely. Yeah. There's a system behind it. There's a full-blown business model underneath it that is viable if I do want to pivot.
Help my understanding of training model. So training model exists as this separate sort of thing that you run, and underneath that you've got some is the business stuff completely separate to that?
The business stuff is in there. So if we go back to the first crack at the online education space, those three things, I actually built another company in that period. It was called Strength Coach Development.
Okay. Actually, I remember that.
Yeah, Strength Coach Dev. One of the many companies that I've opened up and then fucking dismantled and closed. But the plan with that was to run strength culture as just a well-respected strength gym. And then strength coach development was my ability to just be the technical brained movement autistic person that I am around movement and learning about it. And that I could kind of do my own thing alongside it. Strength culture could just run, and strength coach development would be my little thing that I can just fuck around with, and it doesn't impact strength culture. Get to the end of COVID, fuck this, CDP, scrunch up, throw in the bin. Strength coach dev, fuck this thing, cut it off from the feet, see you later, close the company, all of that sort of stuff. And then in the start of phase 2, with the decision to go personality route, I pulled back from all of my own content creation. because everything just went straight into the gym, straight into the brand direction and all of that. And if we're going to go in this route of personality-driven thing, why then does it matter if I'm talking about technical stuff? And I went quiet for 2 years. You can scroll through my page and you'll see the 2 years. There's probably like 15 posts across a 12-month period. Because I purposely pulled back to focus on the other direction. And then psychologist, breakdowns, leave the industry. What am I doing? Psychologist, the final meeting with her, she said, you've got to do the things that fill your cup. Sit down, work out what it is that fills your cup, and just start that again. And the things that fill my cup is helping young coaches. That's it. Speaking to people. We've had phone calls. Just helping people. Just speaking about things like, hey, think about it this way. And then they come back in 3 months like, fuck, man, you just saved my ass. I'm like, yeah, man, like it's cool. Like we can work, like it's all that sort of stuff. Like, and there's a bit of business around it, but there was never the intention of becoming a business mentor. Yep. It was just something that kind of got wrapped up because of the COVID thing, and everyone was like, what are we doing? This is how you manage profit. And then all of a sudden I'm showing people profit structures and fuck all that sort of stuff. I remember one of those intakes, I bought everybody Barefoot Investor or Profit First. I bought 30-something books and like sent them out, and like I remember packaging them up, and like it was just a side thing that just happened because of COVID. That I was helping people with businesses. So there's a small business course there, but I don't promote it at all. Yep. Every now and then a young coach will message me, and it's always the same questions that coaches ask me, and that's what the course actually answers. It is, I feel like I can't grow. I feel like I'm working really hard, but I've got no money. I feel like I should be getting more leads. All of these like base level things, and the business course is just the base structure around business. Yep. I call it 4 quadrants because I put everything in a model, but it's just the entry-level business management strategies people need. They don't get taught. And then training model, the actual training model is what I closed initially, just back up again with, it's the technical brain of myself in whatever direction I want to run it. Now with a structure and a plan.
Some point this year, I don't know if this is June, but you start talking a lot about bones on your stories.
Bones, yeah. I've been thinking about bones for 10 years.
I know. You can tell.
All I think about is bones. No. I literally watch people walk, and I don't know.
You have like X-ray vision.
No, literally. I don't know if other people... I remember... Again, my brain, I don't understand it. I can't... Something in my brain chemistry, I can't picture things. If I close my I don't know, can you do this? The psychologist asked me, I don't know what test she was doing, but she's like, can you imagine a red bus? If I close my eyes and I think about a red bus, I see fucking nothing. What do you see?
I see...
can you picture a red bus?
Yeah.
Or like an apple or whatever?
I can, yeah.
You can literally like kind of like formula... Nothing.
Right.
Void. And for whatever reason, when I'm thinking about movement and all this shit I talk about, it is clear as fucking day. I don't know what it is in my head, but it's just like, oh, it makes complete sense. And I watch these fucking incredibly intelligent people talk about these things, and it just makes sense to me. I go to the courses and everyone's like, oh, and in my head I'm just like, it makes complete sense. I don't know, like it's just like it's my autistic side because I got the autism flair, I got that ADHD Tisburger going on, but that's my input. That's where my fucking brain just, and I don't know why, and I just love bones.
Oh, thank you for that.
Yeah, I love bones.
You confirmed you love bones.
I love bones.
So you start going.
Find a guy that likes bones more than me. Yeah, good luck. I love them. And I travel with them now. My suitcase is filled with bones when I go and present and shit.
Oh, dead set?
Yeah, I got like...
Hey, real?
I got like rib cages and fucking pelvis and stuff.
Real?
They're not real, nah. They're not real.
You should get a real set.
Yeah.
You can buy those.
Yeah. Black market.
Yeah. Cool. So like it obvious from my point of view, like it looks like you're passionate about this.
Bones, yeah. It's a crazy passion, but people like it. And I know there's other people in the world that have the same fucking
same kink.
Because we're in the DMs just chatting about a fucking pelvis doing something. Scat. Where's the scat when this happens? Well, let's work it out.
You're going ham on this. Then I don't know why I remember this, but you're like, oh, what should I call this like portal thing?
Wormhole.
And you land on the wormhole.
I nearly went glory hole. Max Waldron, Max Fitness, Max Strength, sorry, on Instagram. he was like glory hole. I'm like, fuck, that's unreal. Differentiated factor. Without a doubt. Imagine that. Join the glory hole. Like imagine people just being like, what the fuck is that? And they'll just go on the landing page. And then they'll actually see what it is. Oh, this actually, these bones might be all right. Kind of works. Fuck. But no, I ended up on wormhole.
Wormhole.
gravity.
Was the wormhole... like, quickly just describe what the hell the wormhole is. Like, were you planning on making it this whole time? What's happened? Like, where is it at now? Tell me.
Yeah, so I had a meeting with David Gray, I think it was like April last year. So over 12 months ago now. And he kind of warned me. He's got DGR. I don't know. Do you know who David Gray is? Do you follow much at like
not really,
that sort of
no.
space? Another guy loves bones, man. But he's got I think he's the gold standard of like the online education movement, all of that sort of stuff. I think he's the best in the world. And he just so happens, we've just been chatting for like 8 years because he used to live in Sydney. The initial bone-based content I used to make on the OG Strength Culture page, he used to engage with and chat. And we've just always been in the corner. And I've just watched him over this 5-year period just be consistent and action what he said he was going to do, and it just goes. And he's now got like 250,000 followers, 240,000 or something. He's shown me the back end of his business, unbelievably like crazy numbers across the board. And I just respect the fuck out of him. Like, arguably more than anyone else in the industry. I think he's the gold standard. And I just wanted to chat with him because I see that is the direction that I want to head down, but I've got my own sort of silo that I want to work within. And I had a good meeting with him, and he just gave me some very, like, not blunt advice, but was like, around his is called DGR, David Gray Interactive, DGI. And he basically said that the recurring revenue model that has is really good, and that I would agree with that with any business. But he said that of his weekly structure, that's the one thing that's always left. Like it's always like I got to do that and all of that. So he just kind of like warned me a little bit that because it's like ongoing and you have to keep hitting it and keep going with it. He's like, you've got to have a good plan in place with it. So I always like put it on the back burner when I was going to launch it. And then the first intake of the mentorship went fucking bananas. And then the second one went even harder, like blew my expectations out. Me just talking about bones for 3 hours a week, believe it or not. And then based off the first one, I was like, I think I need to just action this. And that's where that started up. So yeah, it's always been in the plan. The plan started nearly 18 months ago, but just pulled the trigger, moved it forward. It was going to start next year, but I brought the wormhole forward.
You got excited about the bones.
The bones got me again, man.
What's your favorite bone? Has to be one.
Nah, system. You can't have one bone. You can't.
Give me one.
You can't.
Give me a bone.
No, you can't.
One.
It's a system, man. You can't pull one out. Fucks the system. And the other ones
if you had to pull out one bone from your
body. I've got a bone to pick. No. No, you can't. Pelvis. But I just think the pelvis. Pelvis is mad.
No, but I'm saying if you had to live the rest of your life without one bone, what bone did you pick?
I would take out... I'd probably just cut the phalange off here at the end. Just cut the whole finger off. Just the pinky finger. Yeah.
That's what people want to know.
Yeah, that's the just cut the finger off. The pinky finger's gone. Yeah.
Cool. Chapter 3 sounded pretty good.
Chapter 3 is rolling.
Training model, wormhole, all seems like it's going great. I think this comes under one stem of you, but I feel like I get the impression that, you know, culture also has this other new chapter. Or
there's a lot's changed.
Yeah. And what's the future of culture looking like to what you know at the moment? Like, are there things or, again, themes you feel like...
Huge. Yeah, big changes. So part of like the restructuring all the responsibilities and stuff, we want the vibe of 1.0 back. So 1.0 gym was basically every single person at the gym was either currently coached by us or previously coached by us. It was just like a heavily dominant community. And because of COVID, moving online, pivoting online space, trying to build an app, doing all that sort of stuff, we went straight to this online thing, which was great. We grew, got to the point where the online business was double the size of the physical gym.
Right.
In the new spot.
Yeah, right.
Like massive. And I don't know, just over time I was like, well, I've got this mad space. There was a couple of mornings I got there and I was just like, and a couple of evenings I'd be there and 90% of the people in there were not coached by us. Right. And it was just like a weird feeling. And I had coaches on the floor bouncing around, but none of them, it was just really odd. Like but that was all those decisions that I was making that was turning us away from the direction that I think initially we had set. So the new culture is just more in line with the original plan for strength culture.
Yep.
Which is just a hub of really high level education, really good quality, obviously people and coaches and like just lifters and community and all of that. But more than anything, it's a physical space where people just they just want to be.
Nothing beats it.
Yeah, that's literally it. Like that's what we want to go back to. I don't want 100 members that we don't. Yeah, like they're great people and all of that. But like when we have events, it's like, well, I'd rather 40 gym members get involved than we open a push-pull run and 80% of them are flying in from interstate to do this event that we've set up. And it's just like, what the fuck is going on? It's mad, but it's also like, what is going on?
Yeah,
and like, and there was even like a part where I had pulled back from coaching, which I think was a big part of it. We were trying to sell like a little powerlifting seminar in Melbourne. And I couldn't get, we sold like 13 tickets or something. And in my head, I was like, man, before COVID, we were flying into state doing shit. And I know a lot of it was me and I pulled back and my education wasn't there anymore and all that sort of stuff. But in that same period where there was 13 people doing that, I was selling some online thing that had 30 to 40 coaches around the world doing this thing online with me. But I only had like 13 people and half of them were like Jez, Rakic. Like it was just like the common people that are just like heavy in the community and they're just like, they just want to be around it and like, what's going on next? Maybe it was just like, it was weird. There was a few things I was like, man, what has happened? Like we've kind of like cooked our vibe down here. And then it was just like, all right. And I kind of delayed it a little bit. And then at the start of the year, I was like, no, so it's like in-person coaching coming back, personal training's coming back, we're starting the process of getting multiple coaches on the floor again. Basically not selling gym memberships anymore, just standalone gym memberships, unless you're, again, a previous client, a drop-down client, or like a direct referral from someone. Like,
am I still?
You're still in, yeah.
Direct.
Because of Beck. Beck gets you in. So, yeah. So, yeah, if you're not, it's not just going to be like, yeah, I'm just going to sign up, come on Monday and be like, yeah. And we're like, who are you? Where do you train? What's your goals and stuff? Like, no, there's trial sessions to come in the door now. You have to have a trial session. Like, we're going back to what it originally was, which was,
Nothing beats it.
Man, I miss it.
Yeah.
And it's been mad the last few months. It's been fucking sick in there. Yeah. I haven't felt that way. And speak to Charlie, same. Didier's, like you want to be there again. Yeah. And now I'm doing full-time work at work again. Yeah. And I rock up at 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning and I chat for 20 minutes with everyone and speak to everyone, go up, come down and have a fucking drink, speak to, like, it's just, I want to be there again. Yeah. I've moved too far away from all that.
Nothing beats it for the client or lifter, I reckon. That's one thing I like when I called you earlier in the year and I was freaking out. Yep. I don't think you realised how much I was freaking out when I called you. Nah. I don't even know what I wanted you to tell me. And for reference, when I started Groove, I don't know what I wanted you to tell me, but I just
you just wanted someone to listen. I kind of understood what was going on there. Yeah, I kind of got it.
But one thing then I realised through, not really intentionally, but like I knew my coaching was pumping because people were coming in person, training with each other. I was there. It was sick. It wasn't planned, but it was happening. Yeah. And I'm like, fuck, like I am pushing an online coaching service. Obviously, I don't own the gym I train out of and coach out of. But one thing that's going to be different to everyone else is making sure there's like an in-person element to it.
I think it's huge.
I reckon you have to.
Differentiated quality. Yeah. Online coaches have fuck all. They have nothing. They have a Discord server. We had a Discord server. It was pumping for about 3 weeks. Yeah. And it's not the same.
Yeah.
It's in-person connection. It's community. It's a place people spend time. Like we've got members. Like members have literally bought houses near the gym. That is not a that is yeah. 2 of them.
That's unreal.
Yeah, they're like, when I was buying my fucking house, it was a decision to be as close to this space as possible. Like that's the kind of thing that it can create for people, and it's like why? I don't know. Again, like that mental health thing that just like crept up on me, and I look back and like, would I give myself advice? I look back at that person, and I don't know how I made so many decisions in that period. I look at those decisions, and I've had to clean a lot of them up this year, and I'm like, man, I can't even believe that I'm in this. Like, it's crazy how much it just can change, and it just it creeps up on you, and like, to the point where I nearly fucking was trying to sell the business. Like, it's fucking wild how crazy it can all get. And then now I'm sitting here being like, what the fuck was I? But also like compassion to yourself. You did the best you could, and all of those sort of things, because it was very difficult. But man, the in-person community is third space. It's that third space sort of analogy. Yeah. Unbelievable. Can't beat it.
I put up a question box earlier in the week, and most of the questions are from either
trash, straight trash.
We'll punch through some of these. There's either there are some good ones in here, but there are a few 30-second ones in here. We'll start here. How much are
the
Giuseppe's paying you to shill their shit wood-fired Neapolitan pizza?
Dan Sealand, go fuck yourself. The Giuseppe is the number one Italian restaurant in Melbourne. It's a small Italian family-run restaurant on Centre Road in Bentley. Unbelievable. Highly recommend going there. Cannot stress enough. Granted, it has a special place in my heart. It was where Laura and I had one of our first dates there. Yeah. I met her parents there. Her parents met my parents there. I took her there. That was the dinner before I proposed to her. Like, it's just when we found out we were pregnant, that's where we went. It's I love the family that run it. They know you. They pump pizzas out of little wood. I just love it. I'm a massive fan of it. But it's also just a mad Italian restaurant. Yeah. And they've expanded and they bought like the back build. It's mad. It's sick. And I sent Dan there because I love it, and he fucking hated it. So Dan likes shit pizza. That's what There's 2 types of pizza. There's like wood-fired pizza, and then the other grouping of they're not shit pizzas, but that's what I call them. It's just shit pizza. It's just pizza that's like
the loaded as stuff.
It's just a normal pizza. It's the normal pizza. I just call it shit pizza. I fucking love shit pizza. It's my favorite type of pizza. Yeah. But the quality, that's the banner that I put it on. It's just like, that's shit pizza, but it's a really good shit pizza. My favorite pizzas are shit pizzas. But Dan likes shit pizzas. He's got this place called Benino's that he goes to, and he just fucking like bricks in your guts, but he loves it. I went there once and drove there after work, and I was like, what is this, man?
Are you the one? Did you do rankings of pizza? Was it pizza?
That was another autism fucking flair for me. I love Dave Portnoy. Do you know who he is?
No.
Oh, man. People are going to hate me for that, but bad luck. I love him. He owns Barstool Sports. He's a differentiated online character. Yeah. Rich as fuck and tells everyone about it. He's a very macho man type, business mogul type person, but he rates pizzas. He's done like 2,000 of them. He's got his own pizza scale. He's got a pizza app. He's got his own pizza festival now in New York once a year. There's like fucking 50 vendors that come in, and Dan just went to it actually. I sent Dan to it. He bought me a t-shirt from Luigi's Pizzeria in Brooklyn. We love pizza. And then I made the decision. I was like, I'm going to start my own, and I've got a spreadsheet. I think I'm up to like 80 pizzas on there.
Yeah. That's still accessible?
Yeah.
Probably.
Yep. De Giuseppe's number one, but
what are the metrics quickly?
I use the Dave Portnoy pizza scale.
Okay.
So a 7 is your stock standard pizza. It's a local pizza. You'll never complain about it.
Okay.
Anything in the 7s. So a low 7 is like, a high 7 is like, it's a good local spot. You might tell your mate about it.
Yep.
Doughy's. You remember when I said you I don't think you enjoyed it. You might have got it on a bad night, but Doughy's is a good example of like a high 7.
Okay.
It's a great little local spot.
Yep.
Like, if that was your local pizza every day, you wouldn't care. Like, it's great.
Yep.
You want to get pizza, where should we go? It's just, bam, easy. Anything below a 7 is dog shit. So he used to throw 6s and 5s and 4s around, and it's all point scales. You can't have an even number. He calls them rookie scores. Yeah. So he has celebrities on, and they'll be like, yeah, it's an 8 out of 10. And he'll literally just, to their face, be like, that's a rookie score. Like The Rock's eating a pizza. It's like, fucking rookie. Because The Rock's giving him the 8 out of 10 or whatever. So anything under 7's dog shit. You don't want it. 7's a good local pizza. 8 is worth driving for. 9 is worth flying, setting something up to go and get it. So 9s are crazy. You're not going to, there might be 29s on 2,000 pizzas. So most things are moderate 7s and in the 8s and shit.
What's your number one? What's that?
De Giuseppe's. I call it a 9-1.
It's a 9.
I call it a 9-1. 9's a rookie score. It's a 9-1.
9-1.
But it's at the bottom end of but I would travel for it. It's my scale. Go fuck yourself.
All right,
Dave Portnoy pizza scale. I use it for everything now.
Really?
Yeah.
Movie ratings?
It works. 7 is a great movie. Oh, yeah, let's watch a movie. Yeah, done. Let's watch it. 8, unreal. Let's set this Friday, grab a bottle of wine. We're going to go watch that movie. A 9 would be everyone is saying, you've got to go watch that. It works, man. 6,
that's changed my thinking.
Dog shit.
Me and housemate Jono, we went hard on movies have to be out of 5 and you can't pick decimals.
Fucking trash score.
So you have to make a decision between a 2 and a 3.
Nah, trash score. Get the point system out. Rookie scores. It works, man.
I'm going to go back to the drawing board.
Yeah.
What's a better number, 69 or 420?
420, but I don't.
Just know that you have inspired these questions.
Every time I put questions up, I just...
you.
That's all right. And everyone wants me to drink wine when I do podcasts. Yeah, that's all
right. This is funny because Dan wasn't there. Who was more lit in this pic of the story? The story I uploaded.
That was me and you. That was you. You were fucked. I basically held you together that night.
You're doing drinks again this year?
What was that?
Christmas party again this year?
We will. Yeah. Yep.
Am I allowed to come?
Yeah.
Cool.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Cool.
No, you were fucked.
Yeah.
Everyone was like, what the fuck's wrong with Dally? I'm like, man, he's just... And I turn around and you're literally the waitress is taking another shot off you. Pulling the glass out of your hand. And you turn around and you just had liquid down your fucking... And I was like, what's going on here?
Oh.
It was good.
I've never been cut off at
a bar
ever in my life.
Industrial Moorabbin.
That was the first time ever.
Literally tradies. It's a tradie spot. And you got cut off from it.
I don't even know what happened. I think I was excited for Dolla, which will come up soon.
Yeah.
Best Rat Pack member.
I didn't even know what this is, but Dean Martin is what I've learnt.
There's a 4th Rat Pack member. I don't know his name.
Dean Martin.
No, I know Dean Martin.
So Dean Martin's in the 9s for me.
Over Frank Sinatra, 100%.
Yeah, Frank Sinatra would be a 7 in the 7s.
Why?
Because I know fucking 4 of his songs. Dean Martin is a family tradition for me, man.
Right.
That's Amore is played at every wedding, played at every Christmas, blasted over the thing, anything.
Are you guys real Italian?
Mum's side, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
You do realise Frank Sinatra, I'm sure Frank Sinatra is Italian background as well.
Yeah, but Dean Martin,
lean into it,
Dean Martin sings in Italian. I don't even know if Frank does, but Dean does. Dean Martin's mad.
He is pretty cool. Favourite Dean Martin song?
That's Amore, easily.
Yeah, okay.
And it's it's like a pizza base. It sounds like pizza. It sounds like Italian. It's all coming together. It's all flowing.
How the questions actually start to improve a bit here. Thank you, Jeremy, for these.
Jez just joined the wormhole. Fucking oath, Jez. We love Jez.
How has becoming a dad helped you in coaching or being a boss? So paraphrase, has becoming a dad helped you in any other domain?
Oh, it's helped me in every domain because it's realigned my focus.
Yeah.
So everything.
Like it.
Becoming a dad has made me want to take responsibility and take action again.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's helped everything.
What quality do you admire in others that you potentially wish that you had?
It would fall within consistency. I don't know what that...
Yeah.
But again, it's my brain. But if I don't want to do, I will not do it.
Yeah.
I will avoid it. I will just stop. It doesn't matter how fruitful it has been. It's gone. See you later. I just wish I had a little bit of that in me to be like, I'll just keep it going. Like, just stick the course a bit. But also, I think that's also my strength. Is that when I find the thing, which is what I'm doing this year, and just like literally anything's possible. And it's not. I don't think it's like it might come off as arrogant, but I know that when I've got the thing, I'm going, and I don't actually think anyone will be able to keep up in the action taking and the risk taking when I decide to do stuff. Yeah. But I think that is the counter of being the more consistent. And so I don't know, do I actually want it? But that sometimes I think, man, it would just be a bit easier. Like right now, like the social media, like if I could just fucking make posts every day, and when I do it, it's crazy. But then like 3 days will go past, I'm like, no, fuck that, fuck the, just like little things like that. I need systems.
On that, what is your goal for the wormhole?
The goal for the wormhole is to create the single best community of coaches that are interested in strength training. That is it. Strength training. And all that strength training involves. So powerlifting is part of that. It's obviously a decent part of that. Like most people want bilateral strength, squat, bench, press, and deadlift, and the variance of that, and managing those type of athletes. But I look at the industry and I see that there's like these rehab conglomerates, and I put DGR as one of them. Like he just dominates that space, and he's got, I know the numbers of what things that he does. And I'm like, that is fucking wild of how many people are just following and into it and love it. And he's flying around the world, and he had one at our gym, and it was just like, there was 40 unbelievable coaches in there, and like rehab, it was just mad. I want that for strength training.
Nice. And
that's what I think the wormhole is. Right now, it won't be as big as these mentorships and these things that I'm doing. But I think as more of those pop off and this wormhole underneath just fills up and the community grows, and I want to start doing in-person events and all of these sort of things, and then hopefully get to the point where I can travel with it and go and do. And I'm trying to get to the UK next year, but do these overseas ones, and there's 40 people that I know online, and they just come to these things, and it's like, let's chat about bones.
Bone buddies.
It's all centered around bones.
The bone buddies.
The bone buddies. Maybe I'll make a t-shirt. The wormhole. That's what I want. I just want a mad fucking community of coaches that care about bones and how it relates to strength training.
I like it.
That's it.
Future potty guest for training model from Jeremy.
Kiz came on. I'll get you on at some point. Absolutely. Huge. Absolutely. Give Groove another 6-12 months, maybe 6 months. Get Groove off the ground. I know you got a few things planned in the pipeline. Get them rolling, and then we'll come on and we'll review. We'll review how you went through it and what you did, and I want to speak to. So one thing is, I kind of want to start opening the doors to people that have like. So I've got a model in the way that I view everything within my whole life, but my model, I want other people to share their ideas and see if it fits within mine, which I'm pretty sure it will. But I've already had one of those conversations, which was with Jack Edwards, who's a sprint coach from New South Wales. So more of those types of people, just in other areas of the space, but chat about bones, basically. And then just coaches that I find doing mad shit. Not your run-of-the-mill. People are doing different things. Yeah.
What do you do to relax and unwind?
I didn't give any names then, did I? You. I want you on there.
Huge.
But I want to give you 3 more months. Build your events up.
Give it some time.
Yeah.
It's all going to happen.
Yeah.
You know it's going to happen.
Your podcast is just kicking off now. Like, you've already got one guy pissed though, so I don't know if that's going to...
What do you do to relax, unwind, de-stress?
Play golf.
I thought that might be that.
Play golf.
How are you hitting them these days?
I actually must admit, I fucking love scrolling.
Yeah?
Some days I'm just like, I can't wait to get home and just fucking scroll.
Really?
Yeah. I love going to bed early and just scrolling for like 2 hours.
You love I don't know why.
I don't watch much YouTube anymore.
Oh.
It's been really difficult for me to watch every... If I'm following a channel, I'm watching everything that channel's ever made.
Yeah, okay.
and I haven't been able to commit that time since becoming a dad. So my YouTube hours are significantly down. My TikTok hours are through the roof though.
Really?
Little quick scroll here, quick scroll. I love scrolling, man. I love it.
Yeah, I feel like that's...
I love it.
I feel like no one ever says that.
I know people are like, well, you shouldn't fucking do. Again, it might just be my brain, but fuck, give me a good algorithm run on TikTok and I'm fucking
Are you someone that will share them all as you go?
Laura and I share a bunch together.
Yeah.
It's just dumb shit though.
Yeah.
No, I just love it. And some random shit I get into. Some real random shit. Been loving the Diddy case, like the unfolding of that. That's
What's happening?
wild.
Grim. Real grim.
I just want all these lists, man.
Yeah. Same.
Give me the Epstein list. Just for no other reason. I don't even grant that terrible things, appalling, atrocious things. Why can't the list come out though?
Yeah.
Who's stopping it? Epstein list, the Diddy list. Have you heard the attorney? He's talking like, oh, some of these high level people have already paid off these. It's already happening.
Really?
It's getting squashed. Give us the list. Who is it? Is Beyonce involved? Why is everyone apologizing? What's going on there? How can you not be intrigued by this?
It's true.
And these are like the figures of the entertainment industry over the last like 30 years.
Yeah,
like
massive
all of
stuff.
them. Kevin Hart apparently is involved in like some fuck shit.
Yeah.
Apparently he's an industry plant too. Did you get into that? Shay Shay, Club Shay Shay, the podcast.
Is that the girl that acts really like...
Jaguar. Nah, I think she's a plant. I think she's a distraction personally. From it all. And she's just saying this shit to like distract from whatever. But fuck, I forgot his name. Cat Williams. When Cat Williams came on and just flamed everyone. Man, listen to that podcast. 3-hour just sermon around everyone's going under this year and it's happening. It's crazy. So yeah, I love scrolling. And I'll fucking tell people, mad, sick. It's so much fun.
You still play much golf?
Once a week.
Hey, how you hitting them?
No. In the peak of my I don't want to work, my handicap got to 9. And I think it's directly correlated. Might need a cohort controlled study, whatever, placebo controlled study. But when the handicap was low, the business was also low, and now now the handicap's floated out a bit. The business has also come back up a bit. So I think
you probably wouldn't want to improve too much.
I'm not. Yeah, I'll wait till give me. Yeah,
I had a hard golf phase in
mad.
start of COVID, but I got worse, gave up, sold all my clubs.
Yeah, fair, standard story.
This is a nice question. And maybe you've touched on it already, but you can answer it again. What do you want your legacy to be in strength and conditioning once you are done?
I don't think I'm going to have a legacy, but I would just want the people that I helped to be like, yeah, he was great. He was really helpful.
Nice.
I learned a lot from him. That would be it.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be anything crazy.
Yeah.
There would be 100 people that would be like, I learned heaps from him. That was mad. That would be it.
And that's what you said that you enjoy most, helping people.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Just people.
Cool.
Yeah. Or like, if strength culture was to close, people would just be like, man, that was a sick gym. That was a mad place. Like, just something like that. Like, yeah. Is that a legacy?
I don't know. Jeremy thinks he'll have a legacy.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Jez. I appreciate that. Jez will have a legacy.
Jez will have a legacy.
He's a hometown hero down here in Melbourne.
Favorite concert you have been to?
I'd be Tom Dolla. This is a question I've got. Does that count as a set? Is that a set? Is that a what is that? When you go and see a DJ, is that a concert? When I think of concert, I think of musicians playing songs.
Yeah.
I don't think of
Is a DJ not a musician?
He is, but I don't connotate that as a concert. I'd be like, I'm just going to go see Dom. I'm going to go see Dom Dolla's concert. Is that what? I don't think it works that way.
Yeah, it's not a concert, is it? It's
I love semantics too. Get the definition right. If we're going to talk about,
I always default to event.
Event.
It's an event. I'm going to a music event this weekend.
Event.
Because I don't know what. You're right. I don't say I'm going to a concert.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to see Dom Dolla.
Yeah.
I'm going to a concert this weekend. To be honest, I think I've only probably been to a true one concert.
Which was?
Actually, I'm going to Luke Combs. That's a concert, but that's in Feb.
Yeah.
That will be the pick of the bunch once it comes around. But the first concert I ever went to, actually, this is a fun. Probably shouldn't say that actually. And not for bad things, but could be fraud. And Checkpoint 2. You had a Checkpoint 1 earlier. What was that?
Ooh. What did I say just before it?
You were doing stuff. That's in your brain, mate. You just told me there's a Checkpoint 1 here. We'll circle back. And then I'm circling back.
Checkpoint 1. I reckon I would have ticked it off.
You would say
I reckon
that?
the Checkpoint was talking about how...
Nah, you got no idea.
Yeah, no.
My favourite concert, the only concert I've actually ever been to was The Script with Charlie Athanasiou in...
What's their big song again? When's their famous song?
Having a broken heart. And I can't know why. I can't remember. It was Schoolies.
Big in your days.
I went with Charlie and his mum. I think it was 17. Vula, shouts out Vula. Vula is the best. Vula, when I was growing up, this is how far back Charlie and I go. When I was growing up, I used to blue with my parents. Well, not so much blue with them, but like, you know, teenage male, you're just like, nah, fuck you, mum. Like, there was a few years there where I was an absolute piece of shit to my mother specifically. And I always used to be like, oh, if I leave, like, Vula will take me in. I'll live at Vula's house. Yeah. Yeah, the Athanasius are the best. But we went to The Script. I think Lukey might have been there too, Charlie's younger brother. I think it was at Rod Laver. Yep.
What's the best general event you've been to?
I loved dolla because that was my final hurrah before becoming a dad. And you bought my ticket.
Yep.
And that's probably it. I don't go to many of those things. I really don't. I went to what was that fucking stereo?
I thought you were going to say that.
And Avicii was in.
Yeah, we had
with
this
the
combo.
balls. With the balls, I was at that.
So you saw Avicii Levels live.
Yep.
That's like my
At the
favourite
peak
song
of it.
ever.
At the peak of it.
Before RIP.
Ziz may have still been on the earth then as well too. Like that was the peak of existence, I reckon.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would have been like 19. Unreal time.
Last question of the day, very relevant from Doosa. What's it going to take to get you to come Dom Dollar this year?
Doosa Lecky. You'll have to speak to Laura. She'll probably say yes though. That's the Laura's. Yeah, I'm not going to say it. You guys, yeah. Nah. Is he coming again?
We're going to organise tickets Friday, 13th December. Well, I've got my ticket. Not going
I
to
think
lie.
I have a wedding. Bad luck.
To the wedding.
Yeah, I'm in the groomsmen. So unless Dom Dollar is playing at the wedding, nah.
You can go this Saturday, the day after. I'm just won't. You know what? I'll run it back to back.
Not going.
I need redemption. That was so. I need context. Like that was supposed to be the highlight of my year. I was like really pumped from it.
Dom Dollar.
Yeah,
that was the highlight of your whole year.
it was supposed to be.
Oh yeah.
It was really building up to that point.
Yep.
Like I'd really gotten into like the DJ stuff. That I was single. Like for the first time ever, started really getting into the music. I'm like, oh, Dom Dollar's gonna be sick. Like
You put too much into it. It was great though. Did you not have a good time?
I don't remember it.
True, because you drank too many rosés at the Christmas party.
I don't know if they were rosés, but
There was a few rosés. There was a few shots. Yeah.
yeah.
Bad luck. I had a great time on your
I'm
money.
glad you did.
I had a great time on your wallet. So unreal. Yeah.
Gonna be a dad. That's what you tell everyone.
I'm gonna be a dad. And then some other people would be like, oh, I'm a dad. I'm like, how is it? Man, I'm nervous. Oh, don't be nervous. It's the best. And now Dom Dollar this year, I'd still be like, I'm a dad. Yeah, it's the best.
Someone might be asking you what it's like to be.
Oh, it's the best, man. Let's go sit on the hill and chat about it. So how are you feeling? Are you nervous? No one ever asks how the dad's going. Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Unbelievable. Good fun.
Awesome. That's us
Thanks
today.
for having me.
Thank you for coming on. Hopefully your eyes aren't burning with how dark it is. First after dark potty in here. We'll need to invest in some lights. But no, thank you for coming on. When you end a podcast, like when do you tell people to like give it 5 stars and stuff like that?
To be honest with you, we chased stars for ages on the main potty. We got to like nearly 600. Does nothing. It does absolutely nothing. Like you go and watch it, like not these huge ones, but the random potty, they'll have 12, 13. Like we aggressively for like 6 months were like, give us stars, because I thought it would do. I don't think it does anything.
Yeah. Right.
I think you're better off asking them to subscribe if they listen on either Apple or Spotify. So
Okay. Please subscribe.
So that they get a little notification when you upload something.
There you go.
Yeah. Get that dopamine hit. Get that initial spike in the retention rate too, you know? Content metrics.
I will know it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You will. 100 episodes you got to make
I'll make it.
before you can make a decision of whether it was a success or worthwhile.
What do you got? Just get to...
We did 88 of the quantum lifting, so we couldn't make a decision there. And then we did 130 something. We'll bring it back though. Probably going to be next year.
Can you still listen to quantum lifting?
It's there. Do you want to know why? Charlie set it up and he doesn't know what email it's linked to or anything. It hits my credit card every month. Thank you, Podbean. $37.50, whatever, to store that. Man, I've gone the back end trying to find what email it's linked to. I can't. So I'm just waiting for my credit card to expire and then it will stop.
That's funny.
You can still find it out there.
There were some good episodes there.
Yeah, the caffeine one. Charlie talking about adenosine receptors, mate. Overloading adenosine receptors and the half-life of caffeine. Unbelievable evidence on the Quantum Lifting podcast. How crazy is it? That was a real fucking error that we went through. Literally personal trainers. Me and Charlie at that point were like 25.
Yeah.
Just fucking 2 idiots in a fucking garage gym lifting weights, and everyone's expecting us to be like, well, what's the research say? Like, just think about it, man. It's crazy that it got to that. I respect the people doing the research, and the people that have, in the same way I love bones, love research. They'll read things and create infographics on Instagram for it. Go for your life. All for it. We need those people. But if you're a young coach and you're hesitant that you don't know enough, just, you know what works. Lean in the direction.
On that, that's us done. Let's go to dinner. Bye.